Okay, so let's take a look at how you can create PostgreSQL database instance in Google Cloud. For that, we will be making use of Cloud SQL, and we will be also connecting this particular instance with DBGate. So what is DBGate? So if you go to official site, you will find this client that looks like this, that allows you to connect to cloud database, local databases, create your database, upload things, add, remove data, and work like you do with any database admin tool. Now coming back to our dashboard, here we will be clicking on view all products. Another alternative is to go to top menu, product solutions, and then all products. So I have set up my Google Cloud account with some free credits and free days to go, right? So once we open another tab here, it will load all the products, and we have to go to databases. So databases, then we have SQL, right? And here thing is, we will have to think of taking care of the part of instance. I already have one PostgreSQL instance, but I will be showing you how to create the instance. So click on create instance, and here you see MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server. So I'll be creating PostgreSQL option, and by clicking on choose PostgreSQL, once you do that, it will show up a new page and you can get the instance, right? So here, first thing, add the instance ID. It could be a name along with some number or so, then password. You can also generate the password, for which you can set the policy that how long it should be, how complex, how much reuse value, and what to allow, not allow, and interval, so that it can be changed frequently. Now comes the database version. I can choose the most recent or the old supported version. Then comes the option to choose the configuration. So you can choose between production and development. If it's production, that means it's ready for public and it will require higher configuration. As you can see, 4 CPU and 26 GB memory or so. And in my case, I will be going with production only if there is business or enterprise use. So let's assume that I have test use. So I will choose development because it will have minimum specs and value to put. Next thing, choosing the region and zone. So we always choose the zone close to our home. So let's say Delhi, Mumbai close to me. I will choose that. There is also this green icon showing low emission, low CO2 emission data centers. So currently we don't have that option in Asia, but if it's there, pick it, right? Otherwise, if it's going to cost you some distance, then you can skip that. There is also option for single zone and multiple zone. So I will go with single zone in my case currently because it is test database. I can also specify the zone, right? And can also hide that. So go with multiple zone when you have database ready and working for your enterprise or small business, or even for your any usage that doesn't involve test. Finally, we can customize this entire instance with option. So we'll go there. So here we will start with machine type. You can choose between the options existing, or I can choose custom or from the list given. For example, I will choose lightweight and it will choose 2 and 8 combination. I can manually also adjust between the range given here. Then comes the storage part, where you can choose the storage, SSD and HDD, and also have storage capacity, right? So that's another thing to consider, right? So I have like 10 GB of storage capacity and SSD HDD option. can go with that as well. You can also enable automatic storage increase option, right? And option for encryption. So Google Manage Encryption Key is another option to think of, right? So we will keep with defaults. I only change the 10 GB capacity and SSD as option. Then comes connection. If you want your connection to be accessed by only company, then you will go with private IP. Otherwise, you will choose public IP. And then we also add the network to all. So let's see, I will use 0.0.00 and then /0, and then simply click done. That will have all the IPs accessing our network, right? Then data protection, I can disable deletion protection for test databases, otherwise enable it. Then comes backup time period and point in the recovery options. You can export that, expand that, and then check the days of logs. I will keep the 7, you can keep for 30 or so depending on your use case, right? Then there is maintenance option when you want the maintenance to happen within the week. And then order of date, later, earlier, any, right? Then comes flags options, query insights and labels. So flags we have for our instance along with telemetry options of query insights. Then comes labels. So I can organize my instance using the labels. So I can use add labels for the same. Finally, I will be clicking on create instance, and that will start the setup. It will take approximately 5 to 8 minutes, not even 10, 8 minutes max to create all the instance. Google is a bit slow compared to Azure and AWS, so it will take a bit of time. So I don't know what could be the reason they are slow, but I have noticed Azure to be the fastest one when it comes to creating the instance. But in case of Google, you will have to wait for all the system to say go and make things available. Now coming back to the instance, click create instance, then you will have your instance created and appear in this instance page. As you can see, I already have my instance running, which will show this particular dashboard, right? I also have this particular IP address, and I will go to connection to get my CS certificate because I need that. So I will click on security. I already allowed all the IPs in network tab, right? Then I'll allow SSL connection. I can download certificate here, and it is downloaded into one of the drive, right? Now let's try to connect this to our DBGate admin tool, right? So we will go to DBGate. We will download this for Windows, and once downloaded, we can go to DBGate. Now this app I will open, right? So once it is open, it is in full screen, it will appear something like this, and here we will be adding the options. So here choose the connection type, choose PostgreSQL. Here instead of localhost, I will be adding the IP on this page. So this is the IP, so I will copy its public IP address. So we will go to DBGate and paste it. 5432 is default port, no need to change. Then user is basically our Postgres, right? If there is no user available, you can always go to default Postgres user, password that we selected. So we will paste the password. There is also save and encrypt option, you can have that. There is also default database you can go to, I don't want that. Then you can have display name and color, I will choose the color blue. And now let's go to SSL part. Click use SSL, then give it CS cert, which is stored in one of my drives. We'll open that. Now let's test this. If it says anything positive, we will go ahead. It will take a bit of time, but it should connect. Meanwhile, we can also take a look at our other options, for example, users and databases. Right, so all the users are listed here. As you can see, Postgres is the user that I used. There is also database that you can create from here, but you will have to use external tools. Here MyDB is there, you can access that in here. So hopefully it gives me access for connection. As you can see, I managed to test my connection, and next thing I will connect. Now once connected, as you can see here, the database being visible. Let me close this tab, and here I will select it. Currently I don't have any new table, so I will try and import new data into this. So in import wizard, I will be choosing CSV file, and then I can drag and drop or add file, go to the folder file, then CSV I will choose people.csv, and I will also name my table that. Let's just run this, and we got our data into the database, right? And now I can close. I'll just refresh, and it says public people. So I will right click and show some initial result. So run the query, right? So SQL select, and everything from that is selected. I can execute, and let's see what it does. It will show you all the available rows and columns from the table. So I pretty much managed to get the data out of that database table as well. So we connected to our PostgreSQL instance from Google Cloud Platform and connected it with DBGate. Then we uploaded CSV file. Now we can access our data, and now we can use it like any other PostgreSQL instance, and that too with this cloud connection.